Welcome to KBN Sports Talks. I'm Kevin, and today we have our final part of this series of the College Baseball World Series. It's the final one because we are in Omaha. The road to Omaha is over. We are down to our last 8 teams, and wow, we got some amazing matchups. We have some Cinderella stories that are in the Final 8 that shouldn't be there, but they are. So are they going to make it to the finals? Are they going to make it past the first round in Omaha? Or will they get eliminated in the first 2 games that they play? Or only 2 games that they play, because it's double elimination. So let's get into it, and let's see what the matchups are. And let's get my prediction. Let's go. So as you guys can see, this is the bracket. This is the final 8 teams. In bracket 1, we got number 4 Vanderbilt, number 5 Arizona, number 9 Stanford, and then we have North Carolina State. And then in bracket 2, we got number 2 Texas, number 3 Tennessee, number 7 Mississippi State, and then we got Virginia. If you're wondering who's missing, just the number 1 team in the country is out because North Carolina State beat them. Does that surprise anybody? Because that really did surprise me. Then we'll go down a little bit more. Notre Dame lost. Number 10 Notre Dame lost to Mississippi State. Mississippi State is number 7, so they were the favorite, and it was their regional. And then we had number 8 Texas Tech lose to Stanford in 2 straight games. Texas Tech basically handed that series. They had a lot of errors, it seemed like. Then we had number 12 Ole Miss lose to number 5 Arizona, and Arizona moves on. And then we have Virginia pulling off. Would we consider this an upset? I really don't know, but I will say it's probably one of the best series that we had in the whole Super Regionals. Was that series right there? It came down to Game 3 that went very, very bad fast for Dallas Baptist, if we're going to be honest. Then we go to number 4 Vanderbilt beating number 13 East Carolina in 2 straight games. And then we go to number 3 Tennessee beat LSU in 2 straight games. So very impressive for the 2 Tennessee teams. Now let's get into the bracket. So, in the bracket 1, we have number 9 Stanford going up against North Carolina State. And that is going to be June 19th at 2 p.m. on ESPN. And honestly, this game, it can go 2 ways. It can go very bad, or it can go very good. It could be a great game, or it can be a blowout. By both teams, this game is so evenly matched. It could be a blowout by Stanford. It could be a blowout by North Carolina State. It matters which North Carolina State shows up and which Stanford team shows up. If that Stanford team shows up, the Stanford team that played against Texas Tech, then we have a game, and we have North Carolina State. If they show up just like they did against Arkansas, we have a game. Arkansas State or North Carolina State can make a run in this whole College World Series in Omaha. Will they make it to the finals? No, I do not think so. I believe that we will see North Carolina State beat Stanford in this first game and move on to play against number 5 Arizona or number 4 Vanderbilt. And that game is on June 19th at 7 p.m. on ESPN. And this game is awesome. I am a Vanderbilt fan. I will tell you this now, and I'm going to not be biased. I'm going to try my best not to be biased. I'm going to be truthful. Vanderbilt looked impressive against East Carolina. They did. Do I think Arizona has the bats to beat Vanderbilt? Yes, but does Vanderbilt have the bat just the same amount of bats as Arizona does? Yes, they do. Will Vanderbilt beat Arizona? Yes, I think they will. Do I think it's going to be a very, very good game? Yes, but it matters also which Kumar Rocker shows up. Kumar Rocker this year, he's had a couple starts where it's not been good for him. He's had a rocky 2 starts, 3 starts this year where he's allowed a lot of runs. But it's postseason Kumar. and he is dominating. So I do think that Vanderbilt is going to move on to play against North Carolina State in the winners bracket. And then we'll have number 9 Stanford going up against number 5 Arizona in the elimination bracket. And honestly, I think that in the NC State versus Vanderbilt game, personally think that Vanderbilt will win again and move on to the next game. I don't know what you would call that. I think you would call it like the semifinals. But then in the elimination bracket, I have Arizona beating Stanford. I do, just because Stanford, I think they had great bats. They did do good. But the thing is, Texas Tech kind of gave them that series. There's a lot of errors on Texas Tech's part. So I think Arizona's bats will come in handy and come ready and be angry that they lost to Vanderbilt. So now we go to the next game in the elimination bracket. We have Arizona going up against NC State. And who will it be? That's a really good question. Honestly, I personally really want to say NC State because of the Cinderella story, but I just can't. I can't say NC State. I gotta go Arizona because Arizona's bats did really impress me against Ole Miss, but NC State just beat Arkansas, so that is a very hard matchup right there because they're so closely, competitively, compared, they're so close together. So I just gotta go with Arizona. Just because I feel like their bats are a little bit better, but then again, NC State did just beat the #1 team in the country. So I'm gonna go Arizona versus Vanderbilt to go to the finals, and I think Vanderbilt goes to the finals again. I'm not saying next time I'm a Vanderbilt fan. I think Vanderbilt will make it to the finals this year. And now let's go to the second bracket. We have number 2 Texas going up against number 7 Mississippi State. And this game gonna be amazing, especially what Mississippi State's bats looked like last game. They were dominant. They were destroying Notre Dame the last 2 games they played. Or last game they played, not 2 games. Last game they played against Notre Dame. They destroyed Notre Dame with their bats, and that was amazing for Mississippi State. But Texas is Texas. And I don't think Mississippi State will be able to beat Texas. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think Texas will pull it off in the end and move on to play at 7 p.m. on June 22nd. Now we go to the other one. We have Virginia versus number 3 Tennessee. And Virginia is so impressive this year. So impressive. They're not going to beat Tennessee this first game. Not this game. They're not going to win this game. They will go play in the elimination bracket. Virginia will play against Mississippi State. And I think that Virginia will beat Mississippi State in the elimination bracket to move on to see who they'll play. Will they play Texas or will they get a rematch against Tennessee? I think that they will get a matchup against Texas. I think Tennessee will knock Texas off. And now we have a Texas versus Virginia matchup in the elimination game. Who will go home? Who will advance to play against number 3 Tennessee? Honestly, this took a lot of time to think about because I did not know if I wanted to go with Texas or Virginia. I still am struggling because I'm like Texas, but then I've watched Virginia. Virginia, they're on a magical run. I want to say Virginia. I do. I want to say Texas too. So who do I go with? I think I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with Virginia. The upset of the century. Virginia beats Texas to play against Tennessee to go to the finals to play against Vanderbilt in the finals. And I think Virginia gives Tennessee their first loss, and now they go to a game. I think that would be like a game 5, game 7, basically, like a winner go home game to play in the national championship. And this game will be one of the best games in college baseball history, I think. This game 7. Winner go home. I think it's going to be a battle. But I just don't think Virginia will have enough to beat Tennessee, and I think Tennessee will play against Vanderbilt. Yes, it's a Tennessee matchup. It's a Nashville versus Knoxville. Yes, I know that. I didn't do that on purpose. Yes, I'm a Vanderbilt fan, but I didn't go biased. I do think Vanderbilt's bats are so good to compete. And I think that their pitching, they have two standout pitchers that you cannot touch. And if their game's on, then they can make it to the finals with those two pitchers. In Tennessee, their bats have just been impressing me. And I think we'll get a Tennessee versus Vanderbilt matchup. I think we'll get a State of Tennessee finals at Omaha this year. And I cannot wait. And I hope you guys are excited and prepared. And let me know what you guys think. But that's who I got.